You're listening to Saint FM on 94.7.
Ever Anderson, he sits on his behind. Ever Anderson plays the great sign. From the heart of heaven, Saint FM 94.7. It's a jolly good show. www.saintfm.org.uk.
See the stars all shine tonight across the sky. Too many to count, I sometimes try. I lay on my back and stare at the diamond sky up on high. See the stars all shine tonight across the sky. 10 billion stars in the sky, each for a soul that has died. They watch over us at night and kiss the dark with their light. Remember those not here, light reflects our tears. See the stars all shine tonight across the sky. See the stars all go out tonight across the sky. So many have gone, I wonder why. Why should it be this way? How many more will soon die? Stars go out tonight across the sky. 10 billion stars in the sky, each for a soul that has died. They watch over us at night and kiss the dark with their light. Remember those not here, light reflects our tears. See the stars all shine tonight across the sky. I look into the darkness, look up to the sky. How and where did it all start? And do we really know why? See the stars all shine tonight across the sky.
Good evening, good evening, good evening, and welcome to Unsigned with me, Anva, here on Saint FM 94.7. What a lovely way to start this show. That was Orly Vardy, and that was a song called See the Stars Tonight, and I've got the man who wrote the lyrics to that in the studio with me this evening. We're going to be having a chat with Paul Thomas a little later. In fact, we're going to be playing a few songs that he's penned the words to, and we'll be talking all about those. We have Paul Walker and Guitavo singing songs written by the man I mentioned earlier, Paul Thomas. We're also going to be listening to Luke Jackson, and a truly international show tonight. We've got Paul Thomas, who's just flown in from Israel. Now, it is my inestimable pleasure, and I have to tell you, it's just such a delight to welcome somebody who frankly has come a long way to join me live here in the studio in Burnham-On-Crouch. He's come all the way he's come all the way from Tel Aviv, which is fantastic. Can I just, everybody out there, give a huge welcome to Paul Thomas.
Thank you very much, Andrew.
Are you well?
Really is an honour to be here. I listen to you every week, 4,000 miles away in Tel Aviv.
I'm so impressed with that. What a fantastic privilege.
All the way just no, thank you very much. Thank you very much. It really is an honour.
No, listen, I have to tell you that I've known you now for, I guess it's a year or so, isn't it, that you've been listening into the show. And we got together through MySpace, and you've been telling me about a number of artists, which we've featured on Unsigned.
Yes.
And they put their own music together and whatever, but they don't have the lyrics necessarily. And they turn to you as a lyricist.
That's right, yeah.
And, it's great. We get a lot of people in that do their own songs, singer-songwriters and people who are playing things, but we don't necessarily get to the lyricist. We've got one called Lauren, who's fantastic as well, a young lady in Chelmsford that does it. But you're fantastically prolific. I mean, how many songs do you have tucked away?
I've got about 300 in the cupboard.
Wow.
And then I usually write to order. I actually wrote one yesterday for Luke Jackson. I saw him on Sunday.
Good man.
And actually, his previous song, the lyrics I wrote for him when he was interviewed on another radio station, unfortunately.
Another radio station? Is there another radio station?
He's a bit of a turncoat, isn't he? But after hearing him, I wrote that. And after seeing him, I also wrote this one yesterday. And hopefully he'll be recording it soon.
Oh, that would be fantastic. Because we played a track from Luke last week, and it was 1 November, and you wrote that one, I think, didn't you?
That's the very song I wrote while he was interviewed on. It's actually a radio station that's gone off the air now.
Oh, well, there we go.
There you go.
We've blown them away. That's what we like to see. But, I mean, writing to order must be a completely different approach to kind of spontaneous, emotionally driven songs. How do you get into the mood of what you need to get out?
It's the same spark. It's a spark that comes to you.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, it just comes to you. I don't know where it comes from. I think Dylan quoted Mozart that it comes down a conduit from somewhere. I don't know where it comes from.
Yeah.
But it just comes to you. I don't know. I mean, that's why I've got this notebook with me.
Ah, okay. So you're constantly writing
I'm
notes.
Constantly writing. Words and lines come to me, and I write them down, and I put it all together.
Now, this has obviously been doing this for many years, but I mean, how did you start, and when did you start?
I used to write poems in my teens. And when I was on the kibbutz, I used to give them to my girlfriends. My wife knows, I can say that.
Girlfriends, there was a plural there, wasn't it?
I was on the kibbutz.
Okay.
It was the time of free love, etc. Anyway, but then I stopped, and then in '96, a guy called Stefan Paulette from Germany contacted me. He was a musician, and we started writing via emails. I used to send the lyrics, he used to put music to it, and we called ourselves The Grills. We've still got our website up, and then I joined MySpace, and then from there everything blossomed. People started to contact me. I started sending them lyrics, so they started creating songs, which was why I was writing, and it was wonderful.
Yeah. Now, you've got some local artists in and around Israel.
Orly Vardy.
Orly Vardy, of course, who we opened the show with. I mean, what a wonderful voice. What a lovely girl as well. And,
wonderful. She's getting married.
I'm going to say, boys, she's being taken off the market. She's getting married soon. And we wish her all the best for that as well, of course.
Right.
But there's other people in and around the UK. I mean, we're going to play a track in a moment by Paul Walker. Tell us how you got in contact with Paul.
Paul Walker, he's from Stone up in Staffordshire. He just contacted me, as most of them do, to ask if there's any lyrics I could send his way. The same with Luke Jackson. I usually send him, I listen to the kind of music they play, and I try and pick out the kind of lyrics I think might suit them, and I just send them 10 or so.
Yeah.
Either they contact me again or they don't. Paul did. Suddenly contacted me and said he's making this song, but I'm not a musician, so I'm not involved in the process. I have to wait till it's finished. Then he sends me the MP3, and I'm always happy with what's created.
Yeah, that's fine. Have you ever sent the same lyric to two different artists and got two completely different songs out of it?
The first song by Luke Jackson is Am I Good Enough For You? That was originally a demo made by Stefan, who I just mentioned, of The Grills, but that never went anywhere. And I didn't tell Luke that there was a demo in existence. I just sent him the lyrics, and he wrote a completely different song, a much better song.
Well, there you go. Yeah. He's a very talented lad. We'll be hearing from him later, but we're going to hear from Paul Walker now. This Don't Mean Nothing to Me. Just tell me about this song in particular and the lyric of this.
it's a kind of nursery rhyme song, I think, kind of nursery rhyme lyric, which is actually sung by his son, Dominic Walker.
Ah, yeah.
Paul Walker wrote the music, and it's his son, Dominic, who sings on it. They did a very good job on it as well.
Should we hear it?
Yeah, great.
Okay, here it is. This is Paul Walker with his son, Dominic, with the words of Paul Thomas, and this is Don't Mean Nothing to Me.
There's a spider in the web. There's a spider in the web, and there's a monkey in the tree. There's a fly in this cup of tea, and it don't mean nothing to me, don't mean nothing. There's a spider in the web, and there's a monkey in the tree. There's a fly in this cup of tea, and it don't mean nothing to me, don't mean nothing. What became of you, my love, when the rain was falling down? What became of you, my love? Did you go under and drown? Someone's ringing my bell. I don't feel like playing now. Someone's ringing my bell. I don't have the strength to shout. There's a spider in the web, and there's a monkey in the tree. There's a fly in this cup of tea, and it don't mean nothing to me, don't mean nothing. There's a spider in the web, and there's a monkey in the tree. There's a fly in this cup of tea, and it don't mean nothing to me, don't mean nothing. Don't mean nothing to me, don't mean nothing. So what became of you, my love, when the rain was pouring down? What became of you, my love? Did you go under and drown? There's a spider in the web, and there's a monkey in the tree. There's a fly in this cup of tea. Don't mean nothing to me, don't mean nothing. There's a spider in the web, queens and kings. There's a monkey in the tree. Diamond rings don't mean nothing. There's a cup of tea, and it don't mean nothing to me, don't mean nothing. There's a spider in the web, and there's a monkey in the tree. There's a fly in this cup of tea. Don't mean nothing to me, don't mean nothing.
Well, that's Paul Walker, and with the lyrics of Paul Thomas. That's a great song. He's done a good job of that, hasn't he?
He's done a great job, he has.
And I think, he recorded that twice, didn't he? Did he do an early version of that as well?
This is a remix.
Yeah, I like that. It's a good remix.
Yeah.
I like it enough. Hey, well, listen, we're going to play another track in a minute. Will you nay come back to me, Billy Boy? I've got that wrong. I keep putting that to me.
Will you nay come back, Billy Boy?
That's it, Billy Boy. Alrighty. Well, tell us a little bit about that, because this has gone on to an album that's doing some special stuff. But talk about the song first of all.
The song is basically about it's a religious song, actually. It's about the Messiah who will come or will return, whatever you believe. It's not important. There's one particular line, I think it's the second line, where it says the moon is hanging on the green hills. Oh, the moon in Christian theology is the Messiah. And it's from the hymn that I learnt as a child. There is a green hill far away without a city wall.
I see. So
it's basically, that's what it's about. It's about somebody who's gone and who's missed, or hopefully will come again.
Right.
Come.
Interesting. Well, this is on an album that is going to be sold in aid of Alzheimer's charities, isn't it?
Yes, Forget Me Not, in Ireland, yes.
Yeah. Okay, and now I'm going to be unforgiven here because I remember it's Eamon and I can't remember his surname. But listen, the guy is on. It's going to be on the MySpace. That's the myspace.com/unsigned on Saint FM. It'll be there in the morning, and go along and buy that album because there's about 20 tracks on it. I think
it's on my website. He's on my website, and the actual Forget Me Not link is on my website.
Give us your website. Your is myspace.com/
Paul Lyricist.
Paul Lyricist. That's it. Good. All right. Well, should we hear it?
Yeah.
I think we probably should. This is Will You Nay Come Back, Billy Boy? Got it right? There we go.
Well done.
is a beautiful song and sung beautifully. Paul, who is that singing?
Her name is Coretta Burr. And again, if you go to my MySpace site, she's shown there. She's wonderful. I'll actually be seeing the band on Saturday when I'm flying to Germany. I'm flying on Friday to see the Donos.
Yeah, oh, terrific. Yo, Nicholas.
Yeah, Nicholas.
Brilliant. Excellent.
Staying with him. They got a gig that night, and then the next day we're going to see Guatavio. Stay with him.
Oh, terrific. We're going to hear Guatavio. We just heard Guatavio.
I've
just heard him. God, I tell you what, my head, it's going over 50 now. I've gone through it now. Hey, well, listen, stay with us for the rest of the show. We'll come back and we'll play a couple more of your tracks later, interpreted by other artists, Luke Jackson and another one by Orley later, if we can sneak that in. Alrighty, so in the meantime, thanks for that, Paul. We're going to be speaking to Paul Thomas, fantastic lyricist who provides the words for many of the musicians that we're hearing on tonight's show to put to music, and we'll be talking to him as well. Now, back in the studio with Paul Thomas, extraordinarily good lyricist, and always looking for new outlets. And Paul, what do you think of the poems?
Oh, they're great. I've entered one as well, you know.
I know you have, and I've lost it, haven't I?
You have.
I've got to re-find it. How embarrassing was that?
I'll send it to you again.
Yes, do that immediately, and I'll make sure it goes in just before the end of the month. But that'll get played on the 9th as well. I mean, you started, you said, writing poetry and so on. Did you ever get as far as publishing a book of your poems or anything like that?
Never.
No? Ever thought of putting that together now?
I don't know.
You never know.
That's a good idea.
Yeah. Well, I'll share the rights with you. The royalties. Yeah, exactly. But do you ever go back to your lyrics or your poems and re-look at them and try to discover what was going on in your mind at the time, or would you like to change?
No.
Have you ever been tempted to change anything you've written?
Oh, very often.
Yeah?
Yeah, some of the old ones. I mean, I've written some that are good and some that are crap, to be honest.
Yeah.
So I've gone back to the crappy ones and I've tried to make them better.
And do you ever have you ever come across one that you've thought, what on earth was I thinking?
Not yet.
No. Not. How much was I drinking when I wrote that?
No.
But what is? I mean, I know you've got your book with you and you've got your pen. But do you ever have a time of a day where you actually sit down and you say, right, I'm going to sit down and I'm going to write something now, and I'm so moved to by this, or is it always just on the go as you do it?
I carry a notebook around and a pen, but my best time to write is actually on the bus on the way to work every morning. So I don't know why. In the morning is when I'm at my brightest. And I seem to write most in the morning.
So do you get a long journey in then?
Yeah, an hour or so.
An hour or so, right.
Usually, but, I mean, lines come to me all the time, and I write them down, and, you know, at some stage I put them all together, or I try to. Yeah.
That'd be interesting, actually. I'd love to see a book of your poetry, just, away from the songwriting.
Yeah, if you know any publishers, you've got my email address.
Indeed. Well, listen, if there's any publishers out there, we'd be interested in getting this published. All right. Well, listen, we're going to talk about Luke Jackson now. First of all, we can't talk about Luke without just recognising this 14-year-old lad who
15 next month.
Oh, he's 15 next month.
Yeah.
Well, he's still 14, 14. But he's an absolute powerhouse, isn't he? When he goes into a place, he takes it by storm, and everybody shuts up.
As I was saying earlier, I mean, I saw him on Sunday. Where he played, the bar, it was empty. As soon as he started playing, people were walking by, stopping, and all coming in. The place was full at the end. I mean, it was absolutely amazing to see.
Yeah, well, that's fantastic. Well, listen, let's hear one of his songs that is done with your lyrics, which is Time to Change. Tell us a little bit about the song before we play it.
It's actually based on an old folk song, which I think Dylan did in '63, called When the Ship Comes In. I don't know what else I can say about it. It's about changing, seeing that the road you're on isn't a good road, and the need to change, as perhaps we all do at some time in our life, or maybe more than once in our life.
Every day's a change. Every day's a change.
That's right.
All right, well, let's listen to it then. It's Luke Jackson, extraordinarily good performer, great guitarist, and terrific voice. This is Time to Change.
pulling you in like the devil's call onto the rocks that pierce your side, as into the cold black void you slide. Trains cutting through burning rain, like blood pumping through your veins as it hurtles down twisted old tracks, past them scenes of white and the crimson black coming off the rails. One turn, if you don't bend with the wind you burn, oh, your time will come. Look in the mirror and change my soul, no, your time will come. A bird falling from screaming skies, it climbed above, far too high. I see freedom as borders and lines. Prisoners are we of a father time, petrified truths what you hear. Reality's what you have to fear. Change my son. Ooh, your time will come. Look at what has passed and change my son. You have to change before it's too late, before you reach that closing gate. No one knows what will be his fate. It's time of the end. Heaven come wait to change my song before it's too late. Oh, your time will come. Look at what has passed and change my son. Ooh, your time will come. Look to the future and change my son. Ooh, your time will come. Look in the mirror and change my son. Oh, your time will come. Look in the mirror and change my son. Ships are sailing on stormy nights. Dark clouds smother the moonlight as the rolling sea rises and falls, pulling you in like the devil's call onto the rocks that pierce your side, as into the cold black void you slide. Oh, your time will come. Look in the mirror and change my soul, and change my soul.
That is Time to Change by Luke Jackson with the lyrics by Paul Thomas. We'll be back with Paul in a little while because we're going to hear another couple of tracks later. Well, what can we say? Well, I'm back in the studio with a whole bunch of people here, but I'm going to speak first of all to Paul Thomas. Paul, I have to say thank you very much for joining me tonight.
It's my pleasure and it's my honour.
It's been our complete privilege. Listen, you've got to say hello to a few people, I think, before we wrap up.
Yeah, I've got to say hello to my darling wife, who I've left behind in Tel Aviv. I hope she's listening. My beautiful daughters, Sharon and Galit. My son Golan, who's here in London studying. My mum, Luke and his dad. Paul and Dominic Walker, Ree in Australia, I hope she's listening, Orly Vardy, who you'll be hearing now,
indeed,
and her husband-to-be, Offa, they're getting married next month.
Yep.
My mum-in-law, Malka, father-in-law Shmulik, my brother-in-laws, my sister-in-laws, and Nicholas, Justin, Nicholas and Tim of the Danoes in Bremen.
Oh, yes, good old Nicholas. Hey, Nicholas.
Stefan and his family, Irk, Coretta, Ronald, Marcus, Marion, Chris Davey, Nico of Brighton, who you just heard, and last but not least, I guess, our lovely cat.
Thank you. He was actually reading there from the Yellow Pages. Thanks a lot for coming in. All right, listen, we're running towards it. This is the last one. This is from Orly Vardy, another one with lyrics by Paul. Do you want to just very quickly set it up?
It's our first song ever together. Love Me Like There's No Tomorrow. We wrote for competition in Romania.
Fantastic. And I'm sure she's going to be singing this on the 14th of next month because she's getting married, and we send her all our love. Unsigners, we're running out of time. Good night. See you next week. Thanks a lot. Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
Love me like you mean it, don't make me cry. Love me like you mean it, I'll tell you why. He took away my sunshine, now the sky is black. He took away my sunshine, and he's never coming back. Love me with all your feeling, show me love's true meaning. I will forget all my sorrow if you will love me like there's no tomorrow. Love me like you mean it, don't make me cry. Love me like you mean it, I'll tell you why. He played with my emotions like I was a toy. He played with my emotions, all my love he destroyed. Love me with all your feeling, show me love's true meaning. I will forget all my sorrow if you will love me like there's no tomorrow. Oh, if you mess with fire, then you will get burned. If you mess with fire, you'll end up getting hurt. Love me with all your feeling, show me love's true meaning. Oh, I will forget all my sorrow if you will love me like there's no tomorrow. If you will love me like there's no tomorrow.
You're listening to Saint FM on 94.7.